live from downtown State College.
Welcome into the Lane and Tangwall live pregame call-in show. Penn State versus Ohio State, 12 p.m., Fox Big Noon. We are downtown, a cold, windy State College on this morning after Halloween. How are you beautiful people doing? Thank you for joining us today. Oh, boy. Well, there's a football game today, guys. That's the good news. We got football, so that's positive.
I was wondering how you're going to lead into this.
Yeah, there's a game. Now, are we going to win that game? I don't know. Let's stay optimistic. Let's hope we can find a way to keep this thing close to the end against the number one team in the nation. Something weird is in the air. I think it happens, Grant says. Grant, that's good optimism, brother. That's what we all need to keep right there. I'm telling you, that's good stuff. We got to find a way to keep this thing positive. Instead of the stats at the bottom of the screen, we went ahead and put out the odds to be Penn State's next head coach per Closhi. I think that's right. I don't know. Some betting website. It's like the only one out there that can actually get that at. So obviously we're monitoring that very closely. We've been doing a lot of different Penn State head coaching profiles. So we'll have two more for you guys next week. So far we've done Brian Hartline, Manny Diaz, and then we did Eli Drinkowitz to start it off. So Penn State Fanatic says, I'm drinking more six-packs during the game than Penn State will be able to score. Oh, man. Justin's living good. He says he's in Punta Cana right now. That's somewhere that I think most of us would like to be in watching this one. It'd make it a little bit more bearable, I'll tell you what. Penn State only won twice in the shoe since 1993. That was when they joined the Big Ten. Kind of crazy stat there. 08, that was the famous Deion Butler. They don't have the tradition to hold our nuts speech. That's when we won there. And then 2011, which is the last time Penn State had an interim head coach, was the last time that we won in Columbus. So it has been a little while. We are there. We've had many games where we are very close. Hopefully today we can just make that a little bit better. Let's try to get after them. I'll tell you what, guys. This Ohio State defense, one of the best I've seen in a long time. Studying their tape. Second in total yards allowed, first third down conversion rate, first in touchdowns allowed, only allowing 5.8 points per game. So less than a touchdown per game, this Ohio State defense. So far and away the best defense that Penn State has played. I thought the Oregon defense was pretty good, but this is a whole nother step up. So appreciate you guys joining us today. Today, the show is brought to you by Anti-Fragile Brewing Company. There's the K-Cam. Once again, the JP409. We keep losing, but it's still empty. I have my suspects of who's drinking it. Maybe producer John. Could be. Could be after a couple tough losses. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's very possible. Make sure you guys go check out Anti-Fragile over on Calder Way. Great cheesesteaks, breakfast cheesesteaks with bacon in them. It is great stuff. So make sure you guys go check them out, support them. Penn State coming in this one, struggling a little bit. One thing I'm excited for the offense is during the bye week, the media was at practice. The offense was not seen because they were in the indoor facility and they were installing new plays, is what Terry Smith said. So we're going to see a little bit of a new offense today. I did see an interview with Matt Patricia, Ohio State's defensive coordinator, and he basically gave the game plan that I think I told you guys that everybody knows is they're just going to stack the box. They're going to stop Katron Allen. That's their number one goal, and make Penn State one-dimensional, make Ethan Grunkmeyer pass the football. And then he basically said, hey, we're going to send a ton of disguise coverage at him, and we're going to send a lot of blitzes at him. So that's what I would expect that. I would expect some chaos from this defense. So can Penn State kind of weather that storm? Because like I said, the things that this defense does, that Matt Patricia does, I'll admit I was one of the people kind of making a little bit of fun of the Matt Patricia hire for Ohio State. But damn, it was actually a very good hire. He's got them running like a well-oiled machine, and they got some dudes out there. Both linebackers, Arvell Reese, I think he's probably one of the best linebackers in all of college football. Sonny Styles also is a very good linebacker. And then obviously they have Caleb Downs, who I think is the best safety in America. So there is a tough matchup ahead for the Nittany Lions. If we want to put the number on the screen, if you guys want to call in, 814-400-4188. We will take your callers. We're talking everything. We're talking Penn State, Ohio State. We're talking Penn State head coach search. Let me know in the comments, too, who would be your pick to be Penn State's next head coach? Right now, my two that I'd be fine with, Brent Key's really come to the mix. There's all these rumors that Brent Key is interviewing next week. I think Georgia Tech has a bye week, and they're undefeated right now, that he's going to be talking to Pat Kraft. That's someone to look at. But right now, where I sit, I really like Jeff Brom. That's a winner at Louisville. He just wins wherever he's at and does really well with not a whole lot. I've started to come around on the Brian Hartline train. I'm going to be honest. I think he is starting to grow on me. I've said that I think it's a little premature in terms of his career trajectory of just not having the same experience. I mean, you look at the recent hires of his kind, the Dan Lanning, the Ryan Day at Ohio State, Marcus Freeman. Those guys were all coordinators turned head coaches, very successful. They had a little bit more time under their belt. Some of them were in the NFL for a little bit. They were coordinators for a while. Hartline, it's only 7 games as an actual play caller. So that's where I'm a little hesitant. But also, he wouldn't be coming here to run the offense. He would come here to be the CEO to a degree. He would be the full head coach. He would be hiring a true defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator. And I think what would be interesting, too, to see if you do bring in Hartline, would he keep Jim Knowles? None of us really know what that relationship is like. Obviously, Jim Knowles, there was a little bit of bad blood, it seems, there. Ryan Day said, gave a kind of a nice summary of, saying, hey, we were very thankful for Jim Knowles, all that good stuff. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this Ohio State offense is not going to take it lightly on this Penn State defense because they want to kind of get a little bit of a get back here on Jim Knowles. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Lebanon. It's Mike from Lebanon. By the way, I hope you guys are doing well today.
You too, brother.
Brian Kelly's name off there. He's never going to be coach. He sucks. I hope if they hire him, I'm going to be an Ohio State fan from now on. Just kidding. But I have a little bit of hope, but I feel like I'm waiting for Dad to come home and punish me for something I did bad. That's what I'm waiting for. So that's just me. You have a great day.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the game, man. No, trust me. If Brian Kelly is the next head coach of Penn State football, I'll be leading the riots down College Ave. Don't you worry about that. That better not happen. I did a video on Manny Diaz. He's sitting, as you see right there, at 5% at the moment odds. Manny Diaz, like I said, I said this. He's the ultimate safety net candidate. If we swing and miss on all these guys, let's just go with Manny Diaz. That's where I'm at. I don't want him to be the first choice, but if we're getting, and I'll tell you this, like Penn State, Pat Kraft, he needs to have this figured out within like the next 3 weeks. I'm saying like you need to have a good idea, a very good idea of who you are going to hire. I would say by mid-November at the latest, like that Nebraska game, really. Like you have to be ready by then to know who you want. You cannot be. National Signing Day is December 3rd. I mean, it's all coming very quick. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Ryan, State College, Pennsylvania.
Repping the hometown. What's up, brother? What's your question?
Question is, going back to the Oregon game, deny Dennis Sutton that, the refs avoided calling a lot of holding calls. Watching the SEC this past weekend, it seems like they don't hold back calling holding when it's obvious. I guess that's kind of a question I have consistently throughout this year. It's the refs. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is an interesting point. It does seem like the Big Ten refs are a little bit more likely to hold the flag as far as not throwing the flag when it comes to holding. I don't really know why that is. I mean, all these different conferences and their refs, like they have meetings, and I don't know if it was something that they talked about in their meetings. Hey, we're going to let them play a little bit more. But I just thought there was times that were just completely egregious for us and other teams from what I've seen of it just not being called. I will tell you, I hope they're able to throw the flag a couple times today because the right side of Ohio State's offensive line, their right guard and their right tackle, both really struggled against Wisconsin 2 weeks ago. Their right tackle, Daniels, let up 6 pressures on the quarterback there. Let some people get in Julian Saint's face. So I think that's something to be on the lookout for. Can Deni Dennis Sutton generate some pressure? Can Chaz Coleman, homecoming game for Chaz Coleman, I would love to see him really get involved. Chaz Coleman really hasn't played much at all as of recent. I think through Northwestern and Iowa, he played a total of like 12 snaps. Terry Smith said that he was sick, but also that he didn't really fit the game plan necessarily. I think he meant we're playing running teams, so Chaz Coleman wasn't going to be out there. I just think you got to put him out there. And also, this is a guy, I know no one on this staff for the most part. You might keep a couple people, and so no one's really worried about next year on the staff because very few people are going to be here. But I'd like to play Chaz Coleman so he feels like he wants to stay. If I had to give one lock of a person that I want to keep on this roster, it's probably Chaz Coleman. I mean, you could say Tony Rojas. I would put him up there as well. But just from superstar ability, the ability to be a first-round draft pick, it's Chaz Coleman. Let me know right now in the comments who would be your one person. I would expect Chaz Coleman to probably be a lot of people's answers. But if you have a different answer, give me something different. Who would be your one player that you would want to keep from this roster to make sure he's on the team in 2026? That's an interesting question.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Tough question.
We got a lot of people. We got a lot of people moving on from this team. I mean, guys, I would not be surprised. It'll be interesting to see, and we'll have the team set by January, 15th, 16th, whenever the portal closes. We'll know because there's only one portal now. We used to have the January portal or the December portal, and then we had the spring portal. There's only one portal now. I think it's early January to mid-January, and then it is closed. So another reason why you need to get your head coach in quickly. Like, I'll just tell you, it's not when the transfer portal opens, it's not like, oh, that's when the phones start ringing. You start talking to all these different players and agents. Players and agents are being talked to right now. So that's why you need to get a head coach, not only to get a head start on 2026 recruiting, because Penn State has lost pretty much all of its class. You got to start talking to all these guys that are going to enter the portal. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Rich from State College. Thanks for doing this call-in show. I just had a question. I heard some interviews with some of the guys. I think Rucci and maybe Donka this week, they both seem to be indicating like, hey, we're still good players. We can actually block, and we're going to try to take it to Ohio State this week. Did you get that sense? Do you think that they could put out a really strong running product that would give Penn State a chance just to hang in there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can do it. I would say it's more slightly unlikely than likely just because of what this Ohio State defense does. I mean, they are just that good. I mean, coming into this year, we thought they were going to be weak at defensive tackle. They lost both their guys. I think they even lost three. We were like, all right, this is going to be a place where Penn State's going to be able to run on this Ohio State defense. And their defensive tackles have really stepped up, and they're playing some good football. And then I mentioned the two linebackers they have behind them. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot from this Penn State rushing attack. And it's something that Penn State really hasn't done very well in a while, and that's been part of the problem against Ohio State is just Penn State, if you can't run the ball, you become one-dimensional, and we've never been exactly, just killing people in the passing game. That's not exactly something we do. So 2023 at Ohio State, that was Drew Aller's big first game, really, that he had to play. We made him throw the ball 42 times, and we ran the ball 26 carries for 49 yards, so not effective there. And then in 2024, last year, we all remember that game. Yes, there was 2 times near the end zone that we came away with no points there. But the leading rushers, number 1, Tyler Warren, number 2, Drew Aller. So when your 2 leading rushers are your tight end and your quarterback, you have a little bit of a problem there. That means you cannot run the football. Nick and Katron combined were sitting at 2.3 yards per carry against Ohio State last year. So that's that. If you want a foolproof method for Penn State to stay in this game, it is Katron Allen sitting above 4.5 yards per carry. That's the world that we need to live in. He needs to grind this thing out and make it easier for Ethan Grunkemeyer. And look, Terry Smith even said that. He was like, look, we have to find a way to make this easier for our quarterback. And that's how I felt. I felt like Ethan Grunkemeyer wasn't exactly helped out against Iowa. It felt like he was trying to make everything work in his first career start in a hostile environment away. And so he was doing everything. His stat line did not look good. The 2 interceptions under 100 yards. But there was definitely some bad. It was his first start, but I thought all things considered, Ethan Grunkmeyer didn't play a bad game. There was nothing there for him. Terry Smith said it too. He's like, look, we have no vertical passing attack right now. That is a complete problem. When you can't stretch the field deep, well, that starts to spell a lot of issues for the run game. Ohio State can start to load the box. So I think that's what we're going to see. You're going to see Caleb Downs, Ohio State safety, start to kind of creep into the box, and they're going to load that thing up with 7-8 guys and say, hey, we're going to stop the run. Beat us with your wide receivers. It is time for Kobe Howard to be released. We need that. Freshman wide receiver Kobe Howard only got 5 snaps last game against Iowa, had 1 target, 1 reception. It was a beautiful route, created separation, helped out his quarterback. I'm really hoping to see some more of that today. We need to get him involved. He put out a tweet on Twitter. He said, I guess X. I refuse to call it X, guys. He said, I was stuck in traffic. It was a little late. Now I'm on my way. Was James Franklin in the traffic? I don't know. You tell me. But hopefully let's get him a police escort to this game because, damn, we need some Kobe Howard in our lives. Troy says, thoughts on Kevin Brown visiting Ohio State this week. Kevin Brown is a 5-star offensive lineman from Harrisburg. One of the I hate to say it, I don't want to pat myself in the back. Reminds me a lot of myself of the fact like he's built like a brick house, just coming out ready to play right away. And so that was going to be a huge get for us. I don't think he's technically decommitted. I don't even know what how this works anymore. We have a bunch of 2026 commits that they're putting out. They're like reopening my commitment, but still committed to Penn State. I'm like, just decommit then. Sarah Jane, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
You were over there. We hadn't introduced you yet.
I know that's your thing. You never introduce me.
I
have to come out and say. But I decided this time, I'm like, let me see how long it takes.
How long did it take? Let's see. 18 minutes?
20.
Oh.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here.
Sure.
You got anything for today? You excited for the game?
I guess. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there's going to be new plays. I thought you said that they didn't do that because it was too complicated.
Well, no. There's supposedly we were running some new installs, and we were starting.
I noticed they were wearing headsets this week.
Oh, Jim Knowles wearing a headset at practice.
Jim Knowles, Kotelnicki. It looks like the whole coaching staff was wearing headsets.
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to work on the.
Maybe it was Terry saying, maybe we should, kind of like that one kid who asked Kotelnicki last week in the presser if he was going to still be calling plays or if he was going to retire that. that was my favorite.
That was crazy.
It was amazing.
That was so crazy. Yeah, for those that don't know, my man Avery Hill, he basically asked Kotelnicki, so you're going to give up play calling? Kotelnicki was like, no. That was great.
Thank you, Kevin. How are you going to not introduce Sarah? Kevin, by the way, it's no H.
Oh, yes.
No
So
H.
get after Sarah today.
Yeah, with his fake thanks for being here. Yeah. Thank
Sarah,
you for being you.
We were at the first time at the State College Theater.
It's just the State Theater.
Oh, State Theater. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I went there. It was fun. We watched Halloween last night, so it was a good time.
It was.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Halloween's good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It
was actually, I've realized it's funny about Michael Myers there's so many memes off of Michael Myers nowadays that the entire movie theater was laughing every single time he would pop up and he's just standing there like this.
Yeah, he's it's too caricature now.
He's too memed up for it to be like an actual scary movie. So it was a great time. We really enjoyed it. I'll tell you what.
The one thing I noticed Drew Aller is apparently with the team this weekend.
Yes, he is.
I noticed he was growing a goatee.
That's good. Sometimes you got to change things up when
That'd be nice to do it while he was still playing. Well, maybe what do you think that is? Because he's kind of copying you actually.
No, everybody likes the goatee nowadays. No, I think it looks good. You got to mix it up when things are going on, man. You got to
things are going on.
Well, when things aren't going your way a little bit, you got to mix it up. You got to throw on a goatee. You got to do different things.
Well, a little late.
So Vanga Ioane returns today. I think that's pretty good. Left guard, I think he's by far the best offensive lineman on this team. So getting him back for a game where you have to run the ball to be competitive in this one, that's big for me. This Ohio State, like I said, this defensive front is going to throw a lot of things at this Penn State offense. So can they handle them? And that's something that Penn State has really kind of struggled with in the run game is not only taking care of up front, but getting up on those linebackers at the second level. And that's where you get those explosive runs. That's how you can get Katron Allen to burst through for 13, 15-yard gains, is if you get up on those linebackers and create some big gaps for him. So I think that is something to keep an eye on there. Can Penn State take care of those down linemen and get up on those linebackers there? So this Ohio State offense, I'll just tell you guys, it is the most run game, not so much passing game. It's the most efficient offense I've ever seen. Julian Sayin, their quarterback, sent at 80% completion rate. That is basically unheard of. The next closest in the FBS, I think, is around 74%. So he's like 6% completion rate better than the next guy. He takes care of the football. He does not really turn the ball over, but they'll take some shots. And you best believe we all know the wide receivers they have in Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I've said it. I think many NFL wide receiver corps would be traded for the Ohio State wide receiver room. That's how good they are. So a test today for Davian Collins, A.J. Harris, Sakee Wheatley, the whole Penn State secondary is going to get a bit of a test. It's going to be it's better than what Oregon had. So we'll see how that goes. But Julian saying, like, he's so good in terms of if it's not there, he doesn't force it. So I mean, you look at the stats, his tight ends have 33 catches, his running backs have 25 catches. So what that tells me is big check down crew. Like, he loves to check it down. He'll always find his running backs. If he looks, he goes through read one. All right, I'm going to one. I'm looking at two. That's covered. It's boom. I'm getting to my check down, dump it off, and live to see another day. And he is really good at that. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon, it's Mike from State College.
What's up, Mike? What's your question?
So I wanted to know what your thoughts are on, Brian Day.
Yeah, please not Brian Kelly. Please, no.
No. I was looking at an LSU article on ESPN and I had a brain fart. Sorry. I wonder what your thoughts are on Ryan Day and some of the other Ohio State offense trying to sort of like go for the jugular on Jim Knowles and try and run it up and sort of embarrass him in this game, especially since it's home.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. I think they might try to break it open against this Penn State defense. And so, like I said, it was a slow progression with Julian Sayin because it is his first year starting Ohio State's quarterback. So they kind of brought him along, and it was make things easy for him, give him easy, quick decisions. And then that slowly started to open it up. They started taking some deep shots to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. It was really against Minnesota like 3 or 4 weeks ago where they just took it up a notch. And now they've really started to open it up a little bit more. And so I do think there is a likely possibility that they are going to not take the foot off the gas. And I'm not necessarily saying it's for sure going to be a blowout. I mean, there's a reason I think that Vegas has it at, I think, we're around plus 20.5, something like that. I've seen anywhere from 20.5 to 18.5 point favorites is what Ohio State is. So that's about 3 touchdowns. But I would think that if they're up comfortably, they are going to continue to keep going, would be my guess, just because Ryan Day had some nice things to say to the media about Jim Knowles, and obviously he's not going to sit up there and try to trash him. But it's clear that was not left on good terms. There's a lot of people, and just talking to people around Ohio State, they didn't like how Jim Knowles left. Obviously, was like, missing at the parade type thing after the national championship. The rumors were that Jim Knowles was asking for an extension during the playoffs, and so it wasn't a great ending there. So I'm definitely curious to see how that goes, but I think there is going to be a bit of a chip on the shoulder there for Ryan Day and company. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Dan from Freeport, Pennsylvania, the home of two-time national champ Bob White.
Oh, there we go. Shout out Bob White. That's my guy. What is your question, my man?
Can he explain, talk a little bit about why the hell we have no backup linebackers? There has to be somebody better than DeLuca.
I appreciate your question. So I've thought about this a little more and more, And so we've seen Keon Wiley play more, but that was mainly because we played a lot of 4-3. Everybody knows the talk of the town was coming into the year. We're playing 4-2-5, which we did play last year, even under Tom Allen. But it was really we had to play a 4-2-5 because we just did not have the linebackers to run 3 linebackers. Well, we played Northwestern and Iowa, 2 running teams, and it was like, all right, we're going to go 3 linebackers. So Keon Wiley played some more, but Dom DeLuca's playing like 98% of the snaps. And as much as we all love Dom DeLuca, he was generally supposed to be playing 20 to 25 snaps. And so he's not supposed to be a 70-snap guy out there. And so you do see some of the offenses trying to kind of target that and go after him a little bit. In terms of, and like I said, I think it's a fair question to ask of how are none of these young linebackers even ready to, they're just not ready to step on the field? Because that's what it seems like. That's the way it's being shown. Like, hey, we can't even trust them to go out there at all. A Cam Smith, a Specca, those type of guys. Can we get them? I've seen everybody mention LeVar Arrington Jr. I do not think he's ready. He just cannot be physical enough. But I think the biggest thing is I've talked to you guys about how much the front 7 for this Penn State defense is struggling in terms of being where they need to be and playing at 100% speed. And that's because it seems like they're not fully confident in what is being asked of them in this defensive scheme. Terry Smith talked about it, and he said, look, it's a very complex defense. It's NFL level. The guys are going to have to adapt. And I've said this. I'm like, look, if we're going into week 10 and you're telling your guys they still need to adapt and the season is just off the rails, well, maybe you need to adjust that defense then and make it a little bit easier for them to grasp. And you're not asking as many things.
Who's coaching the linebackers? Who's responsible for that?
That would be Dan Connor. So, to finish my
really the problem.
No, I think Dan Connor's a fantastic coach. To my point is of these young guys, I think if you're looking at 4th and 5th year players that are struggling to grasp this defense, there's not a chance in hell that a true freshman that's 18 years old that just got to college is going to be able to grasp it. So I think part of the reason why you're not seeing these young linebackers is maybe not because they're not developed correctly or they're not just good enough to be out there. I just don't know if they know the scheme well enough. I just don't know if they can actually operate within Jim Knowles' scheme because it is a complex scheme, and that makes it.
I wonder if there's any new defensive schemes that they did this week.
I don't know. You had some time off.
Speaking of Jim Knowles, he's not even 60 yet. And on the video, somebody's put out a video.
Mike Poorman.
Yeah, Mike Poorman.
He was
put a video out of him, and he looks like he's got mono or an autoimmune disease. I mean, he's like barely hanging by a thread.
Well, he'll be all right. He's making a lot of money, so he'll be fine. We got to call her.
What a ripoff.
Sarah's going to let you know how she feels. We got to call her. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's the Rigatoni Mafia. I know you know who this is, buddy boy.
What's up, brother? What's your question?
Hey, I love everybody on this channel. You know how it goes. Me and my spaghetti noodles just be noodling around with the noodle bros. I just wanted to give a special shout out to my lady. She's out there just watching right now, just vibing, doing her thing. Halloween was a great one. You know what I mean? I hope you had a great Halloween throwing around that spaghetti bowl around with the family.
There we go. That's a real. You think that's got to be Jersey, probably? Is that a Jersey guy?
No.
No?
Don't fucking disrespect.
All right, now you're done. Now you're done, buddy. Now you're done.
Cool.
Now you're done, buddy. Was that what? We were talking New York here?
No, that wasn't a New York accent. That's PA still.
That's still PA?
You can have mafia in PA, Philadelphia, Scranton.
That's true. Scranton mob used to be a big thing.
I heard you paint houses. That's Scranton.
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense. That's good. We needed a little Tony Rigatoni up in here to get us going this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what. One other thing to give you, Ohio State, the one thing that they don't do super well is run the football. And that's kind of weird because for so long they've had elite rushing attacks and really elite running backs, and they don't have that right now. They're kind of going through this weird cycle where they just, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins both went to the NFL, and now you're breaking in a couple young freshman running back. So you got Isaiah West, who's a true freshman, Bo Jackson, who's a true freshman for them at running back. Yes, Bo Jackson is his name. Kind of interesting there. He's not as good as the other Bo Jackson, but he's had some good stuff. And then they have C.J. Donaldson, who came from West Virginia, who we played last year. So no elite running backs on this roster, and the offensive line has kind of struggled to get the ground game going past 3 games. So Minnesota, they went 30 rushes for 133 yards. Against Illinois, 37 rushes for 106 yards. And then Wisconsin, 28 rushes and did not break 100 yards, 98 yards. So they're struggling to find that explosiveness and consistency in the run game, just how they want to make us one-dimensional. Their passing attack is very good, but you got to try to make them one-dimensional, take away the run game, force them to throw the ball, try to get them in 3rd and long, and hope that Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith cannot find a way to make a play on the football. This coming week, guys, we'll have a couple more Penn State head coach profiles coming at you guys. We're going to do Brent Key, because Brent Key's getting from Georgia Tech. He's getting a lot of talk. Everybody's very excited about Brent Key. The rumors, not confirmed, but rumors, is that he's going to have he might have a meeting with Pat Kraft. They might be talking a little bit there. So him. There's obviously, like I said, we're all excited about Brian Hartline. I think that's a real possibility. We'll see what he does today against this Penn State defense. Is he going to call a good game? And then we'll have a couple guys out there, but we'll be doing those the rest of this season, filling you guys in for all these different candidates that might just be finding their way to be Penn State football's next head coach. Will Gamble says Ohio State is struggling with running the football? That means they will run for 200 yards on us.
Yeah, accurate, Will.
Oh boy, yeah, it does seem that way. Someone made a comment, because I do the film breakdowns, and every time I point out like a negative person and I'm like, oh, this guy's like really bad at this, it's like every single week that person has just had the game of their life against us. And then I look like the guy who doesn't know ball. But we just keep letting guys have the games of their lives against us. We got to figure out a way to mitigate that a little bit and slow that thing down. Producer John, how you doing over there? I'm a little extra quiet this morning. Were you out on Halloween?
It's a little early. It's a little early for an old man like me.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think you dressed up, did you?
No.
When was the last time you?
Last time I dressed up?
Yeah, trick or treating.
Oh, it's got like 20 years ago.
1990.
1492.
There you go. Exactly.
Hopped on a boat.
That's what we need.
Sailed an ocean.
There you go. Look at you, John.
Nina Pinta.
Just history. It was a history lesson.
That was beyond my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime Sarah starts bringing up history, I start getting lost.
You must be talking about the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria.
Come on.
I'm lost.
What song's that?
No clue.
Step Brothers?
Really? I don't remember that at all in Step Brothers.
Boats and Hoes.
Oh, there we go. That's a good one. I remember that.
It was like the first line of the song.
I missed that. I missed that.
Wow.
Damn.
You're a tool.
Someone said, I know. Kyle said Ohio State's water boy scoring 2 touchdowns today.
Probably.
You guys are brutal, man. I'll tell you
I don't want Ohio State scraps ever again, by the way.
No, you're not. So you don't want the Brian Hartline. We don't want
anybody who Ryan Day's willing to give up obviously isn't that great.
Oh,
interesting.
That's an interesting take there. We're seeing people saying that we got Ohio State sending double agents. We got to call her.
Probably.
They
don't need to.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, you vanilli gorillas? Bro,
no, he's done. Tony
Rigatoni's
done. He's done. No more Tony Rigatoni.
What's wrong with that?
Hey,
you do look like McGill at Gorilla.
I do, yeah. Well,
there.
No, he's just Tony Rigatoni is a bit.
That wasn't racist.
He's a bit unhinged, if you will. I didn't say it was.
You canceled him.
He's more the curse words that we don't know that could come out of Tony Rigatoni's mouth. So
I want him to call back.
Well, I think producer Steve just blocked his number, so I think we're done with that. Kevin said Sarah with the truth bomb. Yeah, Sarah stays with truth bomb.
Kevin, you got to stop spelling my name with an H.
Oh,
what the hell?
She's gonna get after you.
We see you in this chat every week.
Shout out Kevin, good friend of the show.
But thank you, Kevin. I appreciate the support. I am the truth bomb.
I did. I tried to.
And Landon's eyes. Anytime you can't see it, ladies and gentlemen, but when the camera's on me and I'm about to say something, usually Landon's eyes start going like this, waiting to see what I'm going to say.
I do.
Is she going to get me in trouble? Am I going to get a phone call? I hope so.
Am I going to get a phone call from YouTube or what's going on? No.
Not YouTube. They don't care.
Well,
Not really.
No, Sarah's the. I tried to go against Sarah last 2 Monday nights ago, and I was like, enough, Sarah. I was like, cut her mic off, and
you tried to cancel me.
Yeah, the chat didn't like that much at all.
No. Why would they?
They weren't happy with that one. Not even in the slightest bit. Guys, today, let me know your score predictions in the chat below. I'm curious to see kind of where we're at. Someone said so. Now I think they're purposely spelling your name wrong in the chat.
Chat, how many ways can you spell Sarah? I want to see.
I don't know. Someone put an E in Sarah. That's kind of impressive.
Sarah.
That's how we spell it in Canada. All right, we got a caller. Thank you for saving us. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Is this Rigatoni from another number?
No.
I hope so.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Ryan from Pittsburgh.
Ryan, what's up, my man? What's your question?
I'm more interested today in maybe seeing the secondary in A.J. Harris against Jeremiah Smith today.
I think that's I'm very interested to see that too. A.J. Harris wasn't talked about too much because of everything that went on after Northwestern. It was just a little bit of news. It was Terry Smith came out and said, yeah, like I benched A.J. Harris. So if you remember, Wildy, number 17, yes, the white wide receiver for Northwestern that was absolutely just cooking us.
They always leave them open. White wideouts are always left open because the DBs are like, we'll catch up to them.
That's how it goes.
Every time.
That's how it goes.
Every time.
All right, so AJ Harris gave up that touchdown to Wildy, and he was benched for the rest of the game, which I thought was interesting. There had to have been another factor that AJ Harris was kind of messing up on, because if you just give up one touchdown, you don't just get yanked from a game. So I don't know if something went on, if there was a conversation or something, but AJ Harris did not play again in that game against Northwestern, and then obviously played the whole game against Iowa. So it's going to be a tough matchup today. If you remember, Kalen King obviously going up against Marvin Harrison as oh man, we got to listen to Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson today.
What a snooze fest.
What? Let me know. Everybody, it's you're either over here or you're over here on Gus Johnson, the Fox announcer. Some people like him, some people hate him. It's
last season.
It's one or the other. I was bigger on Gus Johnson in the past, and I've started to kind of just step back a little bit. But hey, at least we're not on ESPN. Not that Big Ten would ever really be on ESPN. But if you are a YouTube TV watcher, as am I,
subscriber,
yeah, I guess. I joined the family this year, and as soon as I join, we lose ESPN. And not that I care too much about the SEC, but really, like, we're not. I can't switch back and forth. I can't watch a little Alabama football.
Screw Disney.
Yeah, I hate Disney for
Kick
trying
rocks.
to. They tried to squeeze them out. That's ridiculous.
They'll be back.
We got a caller. They'll always be back. It's all right. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Liz. So what's with that guy who was on before?
Who?
Which one?
Tony Rigatoni.
Oh, I don't have a clue. I don't know who Tony. I don't know what's going on with Tony Rigatoni. He's I don't know.
He's on timeout. But
he's on timeout. He's part of the Scranton mob. I think we've come to the conclusion of. So that's
hey, listen, buddy, you thought.
Oh! Yes! I was gonna say, is that his girlfriend? I was literally about to say that. I had a feeling in my heart. I was like, "Are you his girlfriend?" Because there's no way someone would just ask that.
There was some ninja audio control there by producer.
Yeah, producer Steve was on top of that. Wait, producer Steve, did you have an inkling that was coming? Did you think you're like maybe okay? I was wondering. This is starting to be the best part of the show at this point.
Tony, maybe if he's good, he can call back after.
We'll find a way. Maybe in the post game we might let him back in, but then I think we're running out of block numbers at this point. I literally was going to say in my head, I was like, is this his girlfriend? I almost said it. I wish I did. I had a feeling, man. Yeah, no, I'm pissed about the YouTube TV stuff. Sarah, we canceled our cable. We canceled our cable because I'm like, all right, we're just gonna.
Well, to be fair, Xfinity is like over $200 a month. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, it is.
And it's like the only reason people watch cable anymore is just for football and whatever sports. That's all they have left. But I mean, Disney's going to be back. Like, they know that everybody's on YouTube TV. Like, they'll negotiate. They'll talk it over. They're just doing it for drama.
It's clear that, in my opinion, if YouTube TV, they knew how bad this backlash would be. If we're sitting here on November 1st and just dead in the middle of college football season, for them not to do this, whatever price that Disney was telling them they had to pay, it was clearly an absolutely outrageous amount because
Well, think of how much it is to go to a park, how outrageous it is now.
Go to a park?
The Disney parks.
Oh, yeah. So I just think it's a number that just maybe YouTube and Google like can't handle, which sounds kind of crazy.
Well, that's because they know ABC and ESPN and like they're all going down the tubes and it's like, that's cute. No.
Well, they are, but they also aren't. It's ridiculous. They own everything at this point. They got Hulu. I'm just so annoyed.
I know. He's all like, oh, no, we can't watch it.
Yeah. Tonight when I go home, I don't even know.
Actually, we still have our cable subscription.
We do?
Yeah, for another week or so. So you've got it.
All right, we're gonna have to get Hulu.
Can't you
Live.
sign into ESPN Plus on your dad's account or something?
Something like that.
Yeah,
you always got
to lay down.
You always got a family member. We'll just go. We'll legal stream it.
Yes,
I'm saying that right
pill.
now. We'll just illegally stream it.
Yeah, I know somebody's sassy.
Yeah, I am.
This week we've got a sassy boy on.
All right, that's it. The mic's about to get cut. I'm done.
Come in for me, chat.
Kyle says Landon Tangwell show turning into the new Howard Stern. I love it. Yes. What was the name of the woman on Howard Stern? I didn't listen to it.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Lost.
Never watched it.
Yeah, never watched. I was never a big Howard Stern guy. Honestly, it used to be funny back in the day. I think most people that have been on for 30 years, they've kind of lost their lust. Here we go. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Liam. This is Brett from Pittsburgh. How you doing?
Doing well, brother. What's your question?
Hey, I want to know, and I'm just tuning in. I apologize. This was addressed earlier. Sadly, I'm not really happy about the game today. I don't want to talk about that. But I want to know, who is your personal top 3 Penn State coaches, 1, 2, 3? I want to hear it.
Ooh, all right, brother. I appreciate that. Right now, number 1, I will go with Jeff Brom. I think he's a proven winner, and not only my number 1, but I think that is likely at this moment Pat Kraft's number 1, because also let's think about where Pat Kraft is in this thing. Penn State's athletic director. Probably not sleeping super well right now, because he knows his entire career, not only at Penn State, but the trajectory of where he goes as an athletic director rides on this pick of a head coach. And so if you look at Jeff Brom, proven winner, wins with less than other people and always finds a way. Maybe not the most sexy hire, isn't going to be the greatest with necessarily recruits and boosters and donors and things like that, but he's just going to win. And that's what Pat Kraft needs right now. He needs someone that's going to come and win for him. So that's the biggest thing that I'm looking at. And so I think that's what Pat Kraft is going to say. All right, yeah, I want to go with a proven winner. After that, I love Eli Drinkwitz. I just don't think it's going to happen, number 1, because he might continue and just stay at Mizzou. But I think also with everything opening up around the SEC, it's not like he's going to get the LSU or Florida job, but I think Auburn's on the horizon. Florida State is very close to being open as well. So there's going to be other jobs. And I think because he is a deep, he's a South Midwest guy, I think he stays over there, and he's probably very likely not to come. So I'm not even going to put Drink on it, even though I'm a big fan of his. I've come around to Brian Hartline. So I'll put Brian Hartline at number 2 here. I think it's because you're following the method of the Dan Lanning, the Ryan Day, the Marcus Freeman, of taking that successful coordinator and plugging them in as a head coach that is a fiery guy that the players love, that is an elite recruiter. And so he checks off all those boxes. The one reason why I'm slightly hesitant is, in the video I did on Brian Hartline, I stacked up him to say Dan Lanning and looked at their careers before they were head coaches. Well, obviously, if Brian Hartline were to be the head coach right after this season, and it's a lot less experience. I mean, Dan Lanning ran the defense at Georgia for 3 full years. He was the linebacker coach there before that and had been at some other schools. Brian Hartline, as much as he's technically, this is year 3 of being the offensive coordinator, this is his first year truly actually calling plays, and he's still being handheld to a degree. Ryan Day is still very involved. Tyler Bowen, the offensive line coach and the run game coordinator, is involved. So it's not like it's his offense at Ohio State. And it's not like we wouldn't bring Brian Hartline here to run the offense. He would just come and be the head coach and hire an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. But the other piece of it with Hartline is it does take a little bit more time. I'm starting to get on the train, the Hartline train, but it takes a lot more time. When you hire a coordinator instead of a head coach, there's a big difference. The head coach, they're going to bring their nutritionist. They're going to bring their strength staff. They're going to bring their recruiting people. Brian Hartline has to build all of that. Now, so that's the question. Who can Brian Hartline bring from Ohio State? Can he nab Billy Fessler, who's the quarterback coach and involved in the passing scheme game and Billy Fessler was a quarterback here for a while in the mid-2010s. Can you grab him? Can you bring him back? One of the hotter names in college football. Can you bring a Tyler Bowen, maybe to coach the offensive line or be a part of the offensive scheme? Can you grab different guys from a very good Ohio State, coaching team and not only maybe bring some players, maybe bring some recruits? I think that's a plus side of Brian Hartline is, this 2026 class isn't in a good place, but we grab Brian Hartline. Let's swing 5 to 8 recruits that are at Ohio State, bring them over to Penn State. So there's all of that kind of involved there. So I'll put Brian Hartline at 2 right now. I'm very much a fan of his, but I think that is that's one that's going to be in it until the end. Number 3, it would be between Joe Brady and Brent Key for me. I think we still have to see how real of a possibility Brent Key is. Obviously, I don't know how long you want to stay at Georgia Tech because there's only so much you can do. Obviously, he played there. I'm a big Brent Key fan. Anytime an offensive lineman is a head coach, they make one damn good head coach because they understand what it takes to be a part of a team, to be that guy that doesn't get all the recognition, and you're just there for the glory, and to give others the glory and prop them up. And Brent Key is one hell of a coach. I've talked to, if you guys remember Jordan Vandenberg, he was a defensive lineman here, transferred down to Georgia Tech, and he's one of the best players on their defense. I've talked to him. Those guys love Key down there. So I'm a pretty big Key fan. Once again, there are rumors that Key, I believe after this week, they have a bye week, so they have a bye week next week, that he might be meeting with some Penn State, people, Pat Kraft, etc. So that's something to keep an eye on there. I think Joe Brady is an interesting candidate. Was a coach here also in the mid-2010s and is just completely worked his way straight up. Offensive coordinator now for the Buffalo Bills. And there is a little bit of that. Terry Pagula, who owns the Buffalo Bills, is a big-time Penn State donor, specifically for hockey, but also, wasn't actually donating too much to football at the time because there was a little bit of a divide between Franklin and some of the top donors. Another reason why I think we went the way we went, because there was not full support. So you're hoping this guy that you bring in next, can he have full support? And I think if you brought in someone like Joe Brady, who's been here, that is a possibility, and maybe Terry Pagula can help facilitate some of that of getting Joe Brady in here. But I'm not always sold on that. So I'll put Brent Key as my number 3. So so right now, Jeff Brom number 1, Brian Hartline number 2, Brent Key number 3 is my list, because I'm not all the way sold on Brady yet if he'd be.
Well, it also would be a demotion for an NFL coach to go back to college. Do you realize how annoying that is compared to being an NFL coach?
I think, absolutely. It's a completely different lifestyle. In the NFL, when the season's over, you get to go chill for like 3 months. And in college, time to go recruit and offer 17-year-olds, millions of dollars. You can have fun with that. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Northern Virginia.
What's your question, Chris?
I watched a football game this week that was probably the most entertaining, dominating game, and I'll throw this coach back into the ring yet again. JMU won convincingly over North Texas, multiple sets on offense, aggressive defense with our local star, Aiden Gabira. And I say Bobby Chesney. If you want to put him number 2 on your list, that's fine if you don't want him number 1. But I say you swing. Penn State once took a swing on a young assistant who'd been there for a long time. He did a great job. Chesney's running a good program. I like him better than Fran Brown that people are throwing out, and I like him. I don't think Brom leaves Louisville. His dad played there. His brother's on the staff. His son's on the staff. He's from there. I don't know why he'd leave there to go to State College, but that's my pick, Bobby Chesney.
I like that. I'm a big Chesney fan of what he's doing there, and obviously found a lot of success at some of those lower level schools. And hey, the last guy to come from JMU to the Big Ten, Kurt Cignetti, is he's faring pretty well right now. So no, I think that's someone to keep an eye on. The up and coming guys, like you said, the great minds. We're gonna do a video on Chesney. I don't know if it's gonna be next week or the week after, but we'll have a lot of those head coaching profiles coming at you guys, and Chesney's at towards the top of my list to get him done. And I think that'll be a fun one because a lot of people don't know a ton about him, and he's just been very successful. Let me know. I got 2 PA natives here in John and Sarah from Colpmont, Pennsylvania. Colpmont?
What the hell's that?
Colpmont, PA. Let's see here. I'm going to look it up. It is a borough in Northern County, PA. It's like not that far away from us. It's kind of like...
What direction?
It's like a little bit east from us.
Okay.
From here in State College. Yeah, a little more than just a little bit. But yeah, it's like more towards Philly a little bit. But hey, he's close. We got to call her. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, no. Is it Tony? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Landon, how bad is it going to be today? That's all I want to know.
Not the defeat, man. Gosh, are we that defeated right now? I have a sneaking suspicion it's not going to be as bad as people think. Lambda says it's coal region, it's tiny. That's what we want. We want a gritty guy. All right, I'm all in now. Bob Chesney, bring him here. It's the Pennsylvania Outback. What is this place? Do we need to take a visit to Coltmont? I'm looking at it right here. Actually, it looks tiny. Yeah, no. I don't think it's going to be as big. I don't think we're going to lose by like 5 or 6 touchdowns. It's possible. It's very possible. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to put up a little bit more fight. And I think you also have the kind of the unknown on your side of a sense of, as much as it's not great with like Ethan Grunkmeyer and what we got going on right now, it's still unknown and you still don't have a lot of tape on what he's done. And hopefully there is some new offensive plays and the defensive scheme has been kind of peeled back a little bit and made a little bit easier for these players to comprehend. And I know we've got so much going on, we've kind of forgotten that we were on a bye week, so hopefully that gave us some time to fine-tune some things and figure out how can we make it as simple as possible. I think I put a tweet out like 10 days ago, and I said the word of the bye week for the offense and the defense, simple. Find a way to make it all simple and just play football. Allow these guys to go out there, play 100 miles per hour, and be confident in their scheme. I think that's the most important thing, and I hope we do that. Rusty says, "Do you score over 10 points?" Talking about Penn State. Yeah, I'll put us right around 10. I think I'll put it right around 10. Robert, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate you, brother. I'll put Ohio State's allowing 5.8, I think 5.8, 5.9 points per game under a touchdown. So this Penn State offense is going up against a good one. Marcus says, any chance Pat Kraft will be on the Ohio State sideline today scouting Hartline? Thank you for the donation, my man. Trust me, he's going to be looking at him. I think Hartline's up in the booth. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I believe he's up in the booth. I'm almost certain he is. But
he'll be on the sideline.
He's going to be watching. I mean, if that Ohio State offense is popping off, Pat Kraft's going to be saying, all right, that looks pretty good.
I'm going on there. I'm telling you, if Ryan Day doesn't want them, I don't want them. Because we had somebody from there before we got Jim Knowles. And Jim Knowles, the poor thing, looks like he's got one foot in the grave and a banana peel on the other.
Sarah. Walking Catastrophe says, drinking game. Do a shot of whiteout tequila every time Beckham Kritzma enters the game. If I do that game and I have to take one singular shot, there is a real problem. We do have some whiteout tequila right here. I keep it right next to me. Nowadays, Penn State football, drink responsibly, but I keep my whiteout tequila right next to me. You best believe that. And once again, today's show is brought to you by, here we go, Anti-Fragile Brewing Company. They're on Calder Way, downtown State College. Some fantastic beer and amazing cheesesteaks that I might go eat one after this because I need one. It was a long night,
breakfast
guys.
one.
Breakfast one with some bacon in it. It's some of the best breakfast food I've ever had, so make sure you guys. Will Gamble says, what happened to the Drew Aller video? Will had some setbacks with different All-22 stuff. The Drew Aller video, producer Steve, we were talking about it. It's going to be out after Nebraska week. So we'll have to go through Indiana. That's coming, though. It's still one of my favorite videos I ever made. I'll explain why later, but we had to kind of wait on it to get some things to pass through. Long story. The Drew Aller, if you don't know what he's referring to, it's basically the Drew Aller we never knew is the title of the video. And I'm going to show you guys a lot from that West Virginia 2023 game. His first game ever as a starter was far and away his best game ever, and it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I can really only blame coaching for it, but we're going to dive into all of it. It's going to be a really good video. I'm sorry that we have to wait, but some things came up with YouTube and all this different stuff that sucks. So we'll get to that in a couple weeks. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Alex from State College.
Repping the hometown. What's up, brother? What's your question?
I got a question along the same vein. Appreciate your unique perspective on this. And so if resources were no limit, how would you construct the perfect Thanksgiving plate? What sides you putting on there? You doing turkey? I got to know.
That's a really good question. Damn, we're there already. I guess, Halloween's
November
over.
1.
Are you got to start to dress up the house, right?
Not yet.
Probably
I'm a
not on that.
traditionalist. I wait to put up Christmas decorations on Black Friday.
Oh, okay. Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go, okay. So, I'll put turkey on the plate. I'm honestly not that big into turkey.
You like my turkey, though.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. But, I'm bigger on ham, honestly. I'll take ham over turkey.
He's a ham and mac and cheese kind of guy. You know,
Yeah.
he's below the Mason-Dixon line, so you know how they get.
There you go. So, I'm going to go, I'll throw turkey on there, but we'll go turkey. We'll go ham. We'll go mac and cheese. I'm gonna need some yams, some sweet potatoes on that thing right there. Definitely need some good bread. If we're going Hawaiian rolls, I can get behind that.
So this isn't really a Thanksgiving plate. This is just Easter.
Once again, I'm from Maryland. So
you like the sweet potato casserole with the marshmallows, right? And
yeah.
And then your sweet potato pie.
Yeah, I love sweet. If there's a pie, I want sweet potato pie. Will says Landon likes dark meat. Pause. Hold on. but hey, yeah, there's Miss Sarah.
Accurate.
So you understand. There's Miss Sarah over there. That's my fiance.
But you my Thanksgiving is very Northeast.
Oh, it is.
And you love it.
Mashed potatoes, of course. I left that out. Need mashed potatoes. I'll take as many carbs as I can get. Definitely
and
throw
stuffing.
Stuffing, of
and
course.
Bird in stuffing.
Yes.
Not in the stove. I don't get these people that are you can't do bird in.
Stovetop, the stovetop stuff. What kind of green? What green? Let me know below. What greens are you guys putting on your plate? If you have to put a green in there.
Oh, that's easy. Everybody does green bean casserole, but I
don't really like.
But
that.
I like just roasted Brussels sprouts. Got to be.
Yeah, I'm cool with roasted Brussels sprouts. I don't really like the green bean casserole with the little crispy stuff on top. Those little crispy onions. I'm not.
It's too bleh.
Yeah, that's too much. I already got enough things that are kind of on the plate going on. But yeah, that's where I'll be at. So we'll say turkey, we'll say ham, mac and cheese, something sweet potato, some Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes. I want a Hawaiian roll personally, and then I'm a
crescent roll person.
Okay, I mess. The crescent rolls are really good.
Yeah,
they're
crescent
really good.
Rolls at Thanksgiving.
A little buttery
Hawaiian
too.
rolls.
I'll still take some Hawaiian rolls though.
You'll take anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Hoss.
You're right about that. Yeah. But no, I'm not. The green bean casserole, you can leave that on the side. Oh, cranberry. As far as cranberry goes, are we doing?
Absolutely, I make my own.
Some people like the canned cranberry. My dad would
like
always
the
make
jelly cranberries,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
a-
make. You've had my cranberry sauce. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
Rusty said it right at the same time. Yeah, I'll go cranberry sauce. That is good. I need a little.
I do you like mine. I do pears in it and orange zest.
Ew. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. We gotta go.
Well, then you can go home for Thanksgiving.
What is up? What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Bro, hey, I got a question, but to start things off, at the end of the day, is it a white gravy or the brown gravy?
Brown.
Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a question for her. I just eat whatever she's making. So.
Yeah, he acts like he's all particular.
Yeah,
Look
we're
at
going.
him.
We'll
Look
go.
at him. Does he look like somebody who's particular?
Okay, obviously the brown gravy. Obviously,
that
was my terrible James Franklin Thanksgiving press conference.
Oh no!
Impression there, but.
Oh no!
Hey, sorry, it's Kyle from Denver. I'm trying to talk trash with Kevin in the chat there, but I was really curious. Sarah, do you have some intel on this Hartline and Day thing going on? Because you mentioned it a couple times, and I'm just curious. You are very in tune, and would like to know if you have heard anything about Day and Hartline's relationship.
No, I haven't. But my thing is that if Ryan Day's willing to let go anybody, kind of like how he was willing to let go Jim Knowles, and everybody's like, oh my God, they let go the national champion defensive coordinator. And we all know, how he's doing now. It's just it's like anybody who, my thing is like anybody, if Ryan Day's willing to give up his scraps, I just don't want Ryan Day's scraps because they're just not that good. It's not what we want.
You think they're double agents? Is that where we're at? Not all the way.
No, it's just, it's like if he's willing to get rid of his personnel, I don't want them.
I don't think Ryan Day, It's clear. So just to give you guys a rundown. Oh, so real quick, someone said leftovers. Yeah, turkey sandwich. That's where I want the turkey. I want the turkey for the turkey sandwich the next day. All right.
There's a lot I could say right now that I am not gonna say.
Is that from Sopranos?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Love
Janice.
Sopranos. Yeah, that's Janice. Yeah, Janice from Sopranos. That's a good one. Yeah, so no, as far as Hartline, Hartline was named offensive coordinator in 2023 for Ohio State. That was Kyle McCord's year as the quarterback. And Ryan Day just instantly completely took over play calling duties. So by name, Brian Hartline was the offensive coordinator, and that was it. He was the wide receivers coach. He was not actually calling the plays in any way, shape, or form. 2024, he's still the co-offensive coordinator. They bring in Chip Kelly, and Brian Hartline, once again, is kind of pushed to the side. 2025, it's like, all right, now we'll give Brian Hartline his chance. But from what I've been told, yeah, he's the play caller. He has more duties and is more involved, but it's not his offense, and he's not calling it. So that's why I'm not fully sold on him. But once again, we're asking him to come here and be a leader of men, be an elite recruiter, and manage this place great. He's not going to be calling plays. So that's why I'm starting to lean towards the fact that, yeah, if we need a home run hire and there's no one left, let's just go with Hartline. I think he could be a dude. So I don't know. Sarah and I are a little split there. Here we go. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Landon, this is Kyle from Erie, Pennsylvania. Just appreciate everything that you do. You're making a losing season feel like it's not going to last forever, so we appreciate the content. And I just wanted to ask you, this is a really rough time for Penn State recruiting. What are some things that you want to see out of Penn State as a recruit of the 2026-2027 class that would allow us to keep some of these guys lurking, at least until we get a head coach in place to hold some of these guys and get them to play for Penn State?
Yeah, I don't think you're really going to be able to do much until you get a head coach, honestly. Archer, yeah, I don't think she was saying that they have the same problems that Hartline and
no, the whole point is
that
you
just don't want the scraps.
I don't want the Ohio State scraps because we had Julian Fleming and then we had Jim Knowles.
Yes, I think that was her point. It wasn't the actual relationship itself. It's just, she doesn't want the scraps. I'm maybe okay taking a little Ohio State scraps.
Because all you do is scream about the scraps that we have now, so.
Well, there you go. I do get angry in here.
He's fair weather.
Oh, there we go. I'm getting zinged. You're not going to really be able to do anything. You're going to keep hemorrhaging recruits while you don't have a head coach. It's just that simple. And I think one thing it will show is how important James Franklin was to the recruiting. So Brian Kelly gets canned at LSU. I don't even know if they lost a recruit. They actually gained a recruit when that happened. When and that just shows you how much James Franklin was trying, he was controlling, he was recruiting, he was trying to coach, he was trying to do this, he was trying to do that, and that was part of kind of the problem. He had self-admittedly said he was a micromanager, and so he was a huge part of everything. And so losing him and how much relationships he had with the players, that's what hurt the most, and that's why you're seeing a lot of guys decommit. And I even said this the other day. People were asking me about Brian Kelly and what it was like being recruited by him. And I said, the relationship I had with Brian Kelly, and Notre Dame and Penn State were my number one and number two. The relationship I had with Brian Kelly and my relationship I had with James Franklin were two completely different relationships. I probably talked to Brian Kelly 2 to 3 times entirely throughout my recruitment. He never talked to me. James Franklin, we'd probably talk once a week. So that's why
Didn't he FaceTime
it was a lot
shirtless?
different. Yeah, I would be shirtless working out in the in the gym. I would always be doing curls. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I used to if I wasn't working out and a coach was calling me, I'd run down to my basement gym and be like, "Oh, coach, I'm just getting a pump in right now. Sorry about that."
I said, tool.
Yeah, that's me. I definitely was. What's the best way to link Steve Jones to the game and mute the broadcast? What's the radio station? We have a Gus Johnson fan there. That is for sure. I don't necessarily blame you, like you said. It's the Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson. Like I said, it's lost a little bit of its luster, especially as Fox has just gotten worse and worse. But listen, if you have YouTube TV, I guess we're all together watching. We're going to be watching Dave Portnoy on Fox, whatever they call it, game day and his big noon kickoff. The pregame show. That's really fun. Although we'll have Urban Meyer on there. Maybe he's the next head coach. I mean, he came out and said that he does not want to do that.
Do it?
No, you don't want to come back into this landscape. There's no way. If you're a Nick Saban, if you're an Urban Meyer, you don't want to come back into
Or
the
an NFL
new
coach. You just
NIL world. No, it's so much. It was already bad enough that you had to recruit 16-year-olds in your free time when NFL coaches have off time. But now you have to go recruit 16-year-olds and offer them millions of dollars. That's when people ask me, they're like, oh, when are you going to get into coaching when I'm doing like the film breakdowns? The answer is never. The answer is I will absolutely never do that. You best believe it won't happen because
and I don't feel like being a wag.
Yeah, you don't do that.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you lived
don't
it.
Like it.
You lived it as a daughter.
Yeah, it's like, nah.
Yeah, I want to be around my family too. So
Yeah, I actually like you.
I like you.
Yeah.
That's
like
good.
the big commonality is like we couldn't wait for everybody to go back to training camp.
Yeah.
Like go away.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, the coaches just leave and go home. Yeah, it's totally like that.
No.
Guys, if anybody wants to call in, we will take one more caller. 814-400-4188. We'll take one more caller before we finish this thing up. We will obviously be back after the game for a live call-in show. So we'll talk about everything that went on. I am excited to see how the boys come out and fight today. Obviously, both teams, Ohio State and Penn State, both had a bye week. So they are coming into this thing rested, and everybody's had a little bit of game plan time. We got a caller. Last caller of the pregame show, baby. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Northeast Boomer.
Oh, hell of a way to end it. Northeast Boomer, what's up, my man?
Hey, real quick, who's the guy that wants to listen to Steve Jones? Tell him to turn into the Helen Keller network instead of that. Good grief. And just so you know, we're on our way to Pittsburgh for another defenseless football team. And we turned off College Game Day to listen to you guys.
Thank you.
You got me pumped up on Manny Diaz again with your broadcast of him being the safety net. So my question is, what's the most important? If you got one person that you can one coach you can bring in, whether they're good with quarterbacks, wide receivers, or defense, which is it? And I'll end with my last complaint ever on James Franklin after last game day he was on. James, Joe Paterno, the guy you don't recognize, got screwed out of more national championships than you'll ever see, buddy. Okay,
True.
Wait to listen.
Thank you,
Dude,
Northeast Boomer.
Northeast Boomer comes with it every
He's
single
accurate.
time.
He's
he
right.
is. He's
Right.
on it. We got to meet this guy at some point. My favorite. So as far as like the I think he's asked like the specialty from one of these coaches. I mean, Brian Hartline with the wide receivers would be great. The ability to pull in elite wide receivers, and not only elite wide receivers. I mean, just his recruiting in general. Brian Hartline is widely regarded as the best recruiter in the nation, like bar none. Like he is the best. Any head coach, whoever, it's Brian Hartline. So another reason why you want to bring him in, can we get elite wide receivers back in State College? It
And
was
a
really
good quarterback.
Yeah, and then I think that what comes with that is a great quarterback, and you bring in the right people. So I think you're looking at that with Hartline, and yeah. So I had people text me and say, hey, you kind of sold me on Manny Diaz as the safety net. If we can't land a Hartline or a Brom or a Key, let's go with Manny Diaz. And I think we forget just how good Manny Diaz defense is. If he came here was the head coach, he would run the defense, and I'm good with that because he's the best defensive coordinator in Penn State football history. It's not even a question to me of what he was doing in 2023. In his last year, 2022 was great, but 2023, he was like top 10, but top 5 in like most statistical categories for that defense. Number 1 in sacks. Talk about us struggling right now. We cannot get after the quarterback at all. Manny Diaz did not have a problem with that. His blitz packages, all that, were fantastic. So those two were, specialty guys that I think could really, hone in on a couple of those things that we really need to get better at. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoy the game today. Please drink responsibly, but go ahead and have some beers. You got to find a way to get through it. Once again, thank you again to Anti-Fragile Brewing Company for sponsoring this. Check them out on Calder Way. Great beer, fantastic cheesesteaks with bacon, all that good stuff. It is very, very good. So appreciate you guys tuning in this one. We will be back approximately, we'll call it 3:30. As soon as the conclusion of Penn State, Ohio State happens, we will be back taking your guys' calls. So like, comment, subscribe. Peace.